horrific news from Pakistan. 26-year-old Kandil Baloch, a social media star and feminist in that country, was murdered by her own brother, who proudly claimed credit for the murder, saying it was to save the family's honor. Well, joining us now to talk about this terrible subject is our friend Raheel Raza, president of the Council of Muslims Facing Tomorrow and a partner in Honor Diaries, a very important film produced by the Clarion Project. Nice to see you again, Raheel.
Thank you.
This is a very heavy subject. Such a beautiful woman, not just physically, but her campaign for women's equality in Pakistan was beautiful and daring. You can see her here. Some people called her the Pakistani Kim Kardashian, but I don't think that's fair. Kim Kardashian isn't about anything. Kandil Baloch was about women's equality.
Yes, and that is unfortunately what got her killed. Women's equality, women's individual thinking, women's freedom is not something that is appreciated by the patriarchal, misogynist society that exists. And for centuries we've been fighting this. But, you know, the honor killing of this beautiful young girl is something that everyone should stand up and take note of, because I think she gave her life for the freedom of women like myself and many other Pakistani women. The sad thing is that there's just been a report published by the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, which actually says that last year, in 2015, there were 3 honor killings a day. And this was both men and women. That's more than 1,000 honor killings in 1 year. These are just the reported figures. From this number, 88 were men. So this culture, honor culture, is something that has permeated our society. And unless there are laws that make it a criminal offense to murder someone in the name of honor, I don't think much is going to change.
That's incredible. That is terrifying. Can I show you a couple of Facebook posts by Kandil Baloch? And I think it's important because, yes, she was beautiful and a bit of a star, but as you point out, it was her message that for which she was killed. Let's look at the first one here. No matter how many times I will be pushed down under, but I'm a fighter, I'll bounce back. I'm a one-woman army, inspiration to those ladies who were treated badly and dominated by society. I will keep on achieving, and I know you will keep on hating. Damn, but who cares? I mean, we hear that kind of feminist language in North America, but we have had great victories in the West for women's equality. She's talking about very basic equality that we take for granted here in Canada and the United States. Am I right?
Yes, we are so fortunate to be living in a country where we have these freedoms. But in Pakistan, if you speak outside the box, and this box, by the way, has been created by the patriarchy. And so if a woman speaks outside that box, if she does something that is about her individual freedom. Now, Kandil Baloch was speaking outside the box. She was experimenting with her freedom, with her feminism, with her sexuality. All of these things are taken for granted in the West. But in Pakistan, if a male patriarch of the family decides that this is wrong, it's a no-no. The brothers thought that she was dishonoring him by her social media presence, and so he decided to silence her. But one good thing has happened. You know, normally the killers go unpunished because under Sharia, there is a law that allows the family of the victims to forgive the killer. And normally this is what happens. But in this particular case, the father, this sad old man, he said, I will not forgive my son. And so the Pakistani government has said they're not going to allow that Sharia portion to take place. They are going to prosecute the brother. Wow. The 2 brothers were in collusion, and they are going to prosecute him for murder, which is really a breakthrough. And it's something that is very necessary in a country like Pakistan.
Right. But I would note that that's only because the father is so heartbroken and was not in on it. But we have seen cases where a father and a brother have colluded. So the law remains. I mean, if I understand you correctly, if it weren't for the father's grief, if he said, yeah, I agree, she was an embarrassment, a dishonor, there would be no prosecution. Am I getting that right?
You're absolutely getting that right. So what we need to do, and what women's rights activists in Pakistan are pushing for, is an anti-honor killing bill, a bill that criminalizes honor killing, specifically honor killing. I've had discussions with people saying, well, what is the difference? It's a murder, but it is a murder with the intent of saving the honor of the family, and it's very specific.
And with that being a defense in law is incredible.
Yes. So when we produced Honor Diaries, the whole idea was to expose the problem and to try and start bringing about solutions. And in many countries now, honor killings are criminalized specifically. But we need to do this now in a country like Pakistan, where the numbers in 2015 were higher than in 2014.
Oh, it's incredible. Well, I remember when we bought the rights for Honor Diaries to play it on the Sun News Network, our viewers crowdfunded that, and we showed it many times. That was truly one of the highlights for me at working with the Sun News Network.
Well, it was the first expose, and unless we exposed the problem, and you know that had pushback as well. So Honor Diaries had its own share of pushback, but it was the first expose to educate the masses to say that this is not just a problem there. It's happening here. In Canada, there have been 13 honor killings since 2002.
Well,
and that's one too many.
Yeah, that's. I remember some of the most horrific cases.
The Shafia case,
and of course Aqsa Parvez. That's right. Let me read one more Facebook post from Kandil Baloch. As a woman, we must stand up for ourselves. As women, we must stand up for each other. We must stand up for justice. I believe I am a modern-day feminist. I believe in equality. I need not to choose what type of women should be. I don't think there's any need to label ourselves just for the sake of society. So she's, her English isn't perfect, but you can get her meaning very clearly. She wrote this just 1 week ago. These were some of her, and perhaps it was these words, these defiant words of freedom and individuality that led to her murder. It's terrible. I wish this was bigger news in Canada and the United States, where we jump if someone doesn't say, if someone says chairman instead of chairperson, oh, sexist, sexist. This woman was just murdered for saying, I want equality. And I don't think we've given it the kind of media attention, at least the mainstream has, in the West. Would you agree? I would definitely agree. I think this should have become an example for the whole world. I think Kandil Baloch, in her death, should become the poster girl for an anti-honor killing bill. I think she should now be the symbol for freedom for Muslim women, for Pakistani women who want to implement their freedom, but are now terrified, because if this is what has happened to her, what would happen to other girls who might want to speak out, who might want to just exercise their individuality and their freedom, which is a God-given right, which nobody should take away. Raheel Raza, I'm always inspired when I talk with you. You give me great hope. I wish you were a senator or a Supreme Court judge or something like that, but maybe you would be too limited. I was just going to say that. Don't wish that on me. Well, I wish that, and we believe in giving a megaphone to your views. I'm so proud and grateful that you've decided to join us on our Rebel Cruise. Thank you. In November, we're going to show your film, Honor Diaries, on the cruise, and you'll be there at panel discussions. I'm really looking forward to spending a week with you. And folks, if you haven't got your tickets for the cruise yet, please go to the rebelcruise.ca and you can hang out with Raheel and I. And Daniel Pipes is coming and other great folks. It's nice to see you again. Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure. Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.